Welcome everyone to Coláiste Dhúlaigh's podcast on Oscar nominations 2023. This involves our film and television students. My panel of guests are...
Hiya, I'm Lydia Stewart.
Hello, I'm Reese Martin.
Hi, I'm McDara Kelly.
Hi, I'm Aoife Swimburn.
And I'm your host, Trevor Fehin. So we will have 2 episodes to cover all of the nominations. There will be 9 categories discussed in episode 1 and there will be 8 categories discussed in episode 2. So to begin and to open our show, because we have an awful lot to do, we are starting with one of the big ones straight away. That is actress in a leading role. The nominees are Cate Blanchett for Tar, Ana de Armas for Blonde, Andrea Riseborough for To Leslie, Michelle Williams for The Fabelmans, and Michelle Yeoh for Everything Everywhere All at Once.
If I may.
Yep, go ahead.
Cate Blanchett, all day. Absolutely stole the show. I think Tar not only was such a good movie, but I think it was such a good movie purely because of her performance. I think it was like you see someone of such a higher power and such a higher social standard, and it all comes crumbling at her feet. And then towards the end of the movie, obviously there's going to be spoilers in this, by the way. Towards the end of the movie, she is playing she basically starts at square one, back where she playing to people wearing suits, pretending to be people that they're not. That's what I took from the movie anyway. But enough about the movie. Cate Blanchett completely stole it for me, I think.
And you don't have any follow-up? You don't think there will be anyone that will be giving a close...
Michelle Yeoh, obviously, I'm biased, Everything Everywhere All at Once would be my favourite movie on the actress in a leading role. But no, I think Cate Blanchett has to be.
Yeah, I would agree that Cate Blanchett's performance was amazing, but I don't think that it surpassed Michelle Yeoh's. I think there is so much heart in that performance by Michelle Yeoh, and such a kind of a heartwarming film. But I did get a tip for this predictions videos, and it was to check the bookies, but not just to check the bookies, the Vegas bookies.
Yeah, the Vegas bookies.
Because they are really good. Last year they got 21 out of 23. And Cate Blanchett is at the moment winning the Vegas bookies, but my heart says Michelle Yeoh.
Okay.
I agree with Reese with Cate Blanchett. I thought that Tar was a really good take on cancel culture, and I thought seeing her at the end being reduced to a nerd convention, I just thought it was very satisfying to see.
Yeah.
It was it was very satisfying, and I think she my heart's on Cate Blanchett anyway. Yeah. But I also think that Michelle Yeoh is her performance is really well done as well.
Yeah, and nobody else is getting a shout out unless...
Yeah, see, I think Michelle Williams. I loved her performance in The Fabelmans. I just think when she was happy, I could feel the emotion that she was trying to portray, and then when she was sad, it was making me cry. She took the character and she really worked with it. So she's for the win.
Do you not think that Cate Blanchett being a darling of the Oscars in the past, that may go against her, or the fact that it looks like the Oscars are actually supporting an attack on cancel culture, which they are often accused of being cancelled, right? Do you think there's a risk that she just won't get it? And then if you think that there's a risk, what's the safe bet?
I think the Oscars can't be cancelled, no matter.
Yeah, but the people that are not nominated are being cancelled.
Obviously you've had horrible people that have been very high, that will go high up in the Oscars, but the hype around the Oscars just, it can't be denied. And the Oscars, a lot of people would like to say it's a popularity contest. I think with Cate Blanchett, she is a darling of the Oscars, you're right. I only think that would push her further, to be honest. If it is a popularity contest,
yeah.
Then Cate Blanchett all the way.
But Everything Everywhere All at Once, hugely popular with audiences, film critics, indie movie, made a lot of money, which is what they like to promote. Diversity, progressive nature, right? And you're still going to go for Cate Blanchett, even though she's won it much. She's been nominated many times, and we're not taking away from her performance. What I am saying is who you're really going to put your money on the line for.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting because I think the actors and the actresses within the Academy will go for Cate Blanchett, but I think the overall Academy is where like Michelle Yeoh has a really good chance here. But if I was to still put it up, I think Cate Blanchett probably has this one, but I think
Between
it might
those
be the
two,
only one for Tara.
Anyone else then that stands out then? Because it seems to be, you said Michelle Williams. What about any of the rest of them? I mean,
I think they were only really taken down because of the poor reception that the movies got. Blonde was like, what, 45% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Andrea Riseborough is a really interesting one though, because that film really hard to get a distributor, and I think it only made about 27,000 at the box office, and that her nomination was through like a big amount of support from other actors that were really pushing it. So her even being in this list where there was no money behind this one, where there was money behind a lot of these nominations, it's really interesting because she's really like what you'd call like an actor's actor. So she's really popular there, and she's actually third at the moment in the favourites. But yeah, it is probably down to Michelle Yeoh and Cate Blanchett.
So outside of yourself that said Michelle Williams was great, how do you feel then listening to everyone else? Do you I mean, that's what your heart is saying.
Yeah.
But if we're going to go around and do exact predictions now, what is your prediction?
Still Michelle.
Yeah, still Michelle.
Yeah, I'm staying with her.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah. I think the thing that you're forgetting about Michelle is that The Fabelmans is so loved by Hollywood, which sometimes loves itself, and like, you know, they did that with La La Land, you know, where a movie that celebrates what they do, they love to reward it, you see. So I wouldn't be surprised that they're not saying, well, here's Kate again, you know, you know, and then we've got Michelle Yeoh, right, you know, we can know, but maybe I don't want to look that way, but here's The Fabelmans, totally safe, it's us, it's Hollywood being Hollywood, you know. So I wouldn't knock that out. I mean, but if we're going to run for predictions, first of all, I suppose, what do you think of the nominees this year, very finally, and then we'll have our predictions at the end. So, what do you think of the nomination? Do you think there was anyone that should have been nominated that wasn't, for example?
Well, Viola Davis is probably one of the biggest omissions. I think, you know, she had a really strong performance in The Woman King, and I think that was the big upset that she wasn't nominated. But it is a strong category. The one that I would say is maybe slight surprising is Anna de Armas in this category.
Yeah.
I mean, Blonde isn't up for anything else.
But she was actually good in it.
It's
just the film is not great.
I don't know if she was good because all of the acting is high emotion acting, so you're not really showing much of a range in it, so I'm not sure that she got to expose herself as a great actor in that film.
Okay, so we're coming down to our time limit on it, so, you know, is there anything you want to say in support of who you're going to, before you pick, like, is there anyone you want to say as a shout out to, and then who is your prediction?
I would say my shadow would be Michelle Yeoh, but I'm pretty sure that Cate Blanchett would win.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I think I would like to see Michelle Yeoh win it, but if I was a betting man, I'd go straight down to Paddy Power and stick the house on Cate Blanchett.
Okay, that's pretty.
Yeah, I'd have
Power. To you, no, yeah.
I'd have to agree with both Reese and Lydia. My heart going with Michelle Yeoh, but Cate Blanchett I think has this one.
Okay.
I'm the outcast.
Yeah, and that's okay. And is there anything that's been said that has changed your mind on that? I mean, what's your shout out then? I
mean, I think Cate Blanchett did a great performance, but I just think for me personally, Michelle Williams would win. Yeah.
I would. So my final one. So the panel is almost unanimous saying Cate Blanchett. So that's where our money's at. Shout out to Michelle Yeoh and Michelle Williams, and I do think that it is down to Cate Blanchett and Michelle Yeoh. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah.
Well, Cate Blanchett's going to do it.
Yeah.
We're putting the money on.
Yep.
Yeah. But Michelle Williams is definitely recognised as well. Yeah.
Honourable mention.
Yeah, that's fantastic. All right, okay. So that concludes what we tip is going to be Vegas bookies and all in this. Best actress, actress in a leading role, we are saying Cate Blanchett, yeah?
You heard it
Yeah.
here first.
Yeah. Okay, very good. That moves us on then to actress in a supporting role, and the nominations are Angela Bassett, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever; Hong Chow for The Whale; Kerry Condon, The Banshees of Inisherin; Jamie Lee Curtis for Everything Everywhere All at Once; and Stephanie Hsu for Everything Everywhere All at Once. Okay, interesting one this. Is this one going to be as clear-cut as what you thought with Cate Blanchett running away with Tara?
I think this might be one of the very most competitive
Absolutely.
categories in the entire
Yeah.
thing. Shout out to our very own Kerry Condon.
Absolutely.
She
Yeah,
won the
yeah.
BAFTA, which
Yeah.
we're all so
Critics'
amazed.
Choice
and happy
Award
with.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
So like she has a lot of kind of power coming up to this. Bookies have her at second favourite.
in Vegas.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Which
see,
is-
that's quite close. I
I've
didn't
never
think
even
that
heard of this.
Me
Vegas
neither.
book.
Yeah. So I did look up on it, and Paddy Power have her down as favourite, but I won't say who they had as their second favourite. Though. So
I can guess.
yeah, go well. Yeah,
Would it be Jamie Lee Curtis?
it's not Jamie Lee Curtis, no.
Is it Angela Bassett?
It's Angela Bassett.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So you're all saying that. So what do you mean by that? What does that mean?
Because
Do you think it's deserved, or do you
Deserved. I
Yeah,
think all of them
sure.
were deserved.
Yeah.
Think? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you didn't get to say who you thought.
Yeah, well, it's a really interesting one. I mean, Angela Bassett is up for it. If she did win it, she would be the only person to win an Oscar for a role in a superhero
Yeah.
outside of Heath Ledger for the Joker and Joaquin Phoenix for the Joker.
Yeah.
So it'd be a win for non-Joker comic book
I
characters.
wouldn't even consider the Joker as like a proper superhero
Yeah.
film. So like Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. If that won an Oscar, that would probably
Yeah,
be
I
the
always
first
thought
like
that.
actual
I
superhero.
always thought the Joker was just
Postmodern take.
what Taxi Driver.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's just
Yeah,
Taxi
it
Driver
basically-
stumbled along the
Yeah.
MC universe, you know. Okay, so need to go this along then. So who is your prediction, and then who's your shout out, and why? Who's your prediction, by the way?
Angela Bassett, for sure. She's unreal. I've watched her in other stuff as well, and she like takes the role and just, I love her.
And do you think there's any hope for Kerry Condon? I mean, she's coming in at second, and she's actually won. She's outdone her in most of the awards that they're both in.
I feel
you know,
like
she's
it's-
leading it away in other
Yeah.
awards to date. You know?
It's going to be super tight. Like, I feel like whoever wins is just going to get there by a couple of votes, you know?
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not too sure. They all really deserve it. I think I would like Kerry to win for because she's Irish.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But I thought that Stephanie and Jamie Lee Curtis from Everything Everywhere did a really good job.
Yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis is really liked in Hollywood.
Yeah,
you
she
know,
is.
and she's often
Yeah.
called sometimes the Queen of Hollywood, and there's all
Yeah.
these things. And she's gone through personal crises and health crises, and she's going strong. Don't underestimate that they might, throw it that way,
Yeah.
but will enough of them throw it that way? I
Yeah.
suppose, yeah.
Yeah.
Are you going Angela Bassett as well?
No,
Oh.
I'm not going Angela Bassett.
Who are you going for?
See, I could go very controversial right now and say Hong Chow
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I think she lifted the whale
Yeah,
like
she was excellent.
right
yeah.
out.
Absolutely
Yeah.
Like,
fantastic. Yeah.
absolutely amazing in that.
Yeah.
Kerry, fantastic actress and great movie. I don't think Kerry, Jamie Lee Curtis, and Stephanie Hsu pushed the movie as far along as Hong Chow did for a supporting role. They're all absolutely amazing actresses, but I'm gonna say Hong Chow. I'm gonna
Okay.
go
Yeah.
Hong Chow.
And then if it was down to myself, then I have this. When you're reading the trades, they're literally pushing for Kerry Condon, but they're also split down between Angela Bassett as well. But they are mentioning and each place I look has a different of that variation of those three. So it's the Whale, Banshees, and Wakanda, and it seems to be mixing between the three of them. my heart is going to say Kerry Condon, because there's something that they're hearing that they want to reward this, to try and allow the Oscars to come back to what they see as very intelligent cinema making, you know. So it's almost like they want to correct something in the past, but I don't know. But what are we going for in the end? So shout out your predictions.
Hong Chow.
Yeah.
I think the closer we get, I'm going with Kerry Condon. I think she can just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, as much as I love Angela, I think Kerry.
Yeah, and
I'd love for Kerry to win.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So would I. So we'll just all gang up on Reese.
Okay.
You betrayed the nation there.
Right.
As well, just to say, Hong Chow bottom of the bookies list for that category.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
That's why she's going to pull out a bag.
Yeah. So yes, the reason why I would just throw her in there in the 3 is because, see, I don't think The Whale will do as well, only because of some of the things that have been said by Brendan Fraser in the past about Hollywood, and I just think that leaves a stain on some of those who in private are going to vote, you see. So anyone associated with it, I don't think, and that's what the bookies are going on, I think, you know, is what they're hearing in the background. But if Kerry Condon can do it, we will be absolutely delighted, I think. Is that what we're going for?
absolutely.
Okay, I can
Definitely bring it home.
Yeah, that's excellent. That's brilliant. Okay, so for those of you that are listening and you've got your money in your pocket and you feel like throwing it away, well, we're going to try and get you some money back by Kerry Condon, right? And you're doing the nation proud as well.
Let's just call it quits.
We won't call it quits. We'll call it the start.
This, of course, is, you know, very close to a lot of our hearts here, because it's the first ever time that an Oscailga language film has been nominated for an Oscar. Okay, so the nominations for 2023 in order are, for international feature film, All Quiet on the Western Front from Germany, Argentina 1985 from Argentina, Close from Belgium, EO from Poland, and on Colleen Keane, The Quiet Girl from Ireland. So you have to separate your heart from your head here. Do you want to go first?
The Quiet Girl. I mean, I loved it so much. And I'm not only just saying that because it's an Irish movie, but oh my God.
Did it make you cry?
Yeah. The ending.
It's the only film
The
I know
ending
that
got me.
guys are saying it's okay to have made you cry. Even reviewers are saying that bit at the end.
Yeah, the end of her running, that got
the
me.
running, and the way the running is back to what the father was teaching her what to do.
Yeah.
He knew she was underfed, and he knew to make her run was a way to get her fit again. And the way that all combined in, like even to see Time Out magazine and what's his name. Saying about like, oh, this movie will cry, and if you don't cry, you're not human. So, you know, so there's this kind of a thing. But like All Quiet on the Western Front,
that was All Quiet on the Western Front as well. Was amazing. It was really well done. But yeah, no, I'm still.
You want to stick with it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay.
I think Colleen Keane is so unfortunate that it's up against All Quiet on the Western Front,
Like David
backed by
Clive kind of
Netflix.
thing.
Yeah.
You know, massive budget production,
Huge
a lot of like A-list actors as well. I think it's really unfortunate because I think All Quiet is going to be strong in a lot of categories, as it was at the BAFTAs this year.
Yeah.
And it is the kind of the runaway favourite, but Colleen Keane in Argentina 1985 are joint second favourites behind it. And
what did the bookies say?
yeah, that's what the
That's what the
bookie said.
Yeah,
and then EO and Close are another little bit behind them.
Yeah.
So I think I don't think it's going to be a win for Colleen Keane, unfortunately. I think All Quiet's going to get this one.
Okay. Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah. I really don't like war films. Like I really hate watching them. But when I watched All Quiet, I regretted it because it made me so upset. But like it was when it was filmed, it was like during the time when tanks weren't heard of in the war.
Exactly, yeah.
And that
when it
scene,
came in at the end of that war.
that scene where the tank showed up
the first time.
and they didn't know how to stop it and they were just shooting at it.
Yeah, it was almost like a prehistoric or mystical creature.
And the way they presented the tanks,
it was out of the fog or whatever. Yeah.
And they were and them trying to like survive, and then it was just like so brutal the way that they were just all wiped. That made me really upset. But I like The Quiet Girl a lot. Like that made me cry as well. But All Quiet's definitely going to win in my opinion.
And then Reese.
All Quiet on the Western Front, I think, has it by a landslide, as much as I hate to admit it. It was just such a beautiful movie. And that also comes up in cinematography, if I'm correct. I think All Quiet on the Western Front has it.
Yeah, the only thing I want to say about that is that you have All Quiet on the Western Front. First of all, they're not a great fan of Netflix. Some of the older members of the Academy.
Yep.
It's also nominated for Best Film. So if it got Best Film, then that leaves the way for this. You know, they might be saying this might get Best Film like it did with the BAFTA. If it gets Best Film, well then let's go for The Quiet Girl, because, you know, like there's a huge Irish influence as well in America that they're getting. Like it opened last week at the weekend on Friday in New York to queues around the corner and stand on ovation because the Irish American community was going. There wasn't another Irish person there, and they were just blown away by its premiere in New York. Every socialite was at it, so didn't get that with All Quiet on the Western Front. You know, but the problem is that's Friday. Have the votes been cast already?
Yeah,
you know, and Screen Ireland, of course, have done a great job in it. So, but are we just saying that our heart absolutely unison in The Quiet Girl, absolutely stunning movie?
Yeah.
But are we saying? I'm going for The Quiet Girl. I genuinely believe it's not because it's just Irish. I genuinely believe that when you see the Hollywood Reporter saying that this is what we believe will be the really twist of fate and everything, that they're saying that there's this thing on the ground that it keeps snowballing momentum.
Right.
It's not dropping out, whereas All Quiet is slightly dropping out because it seemed to have been dominating things, you know. So time wise, we're nearly up. So very quickly, who do you believe genuinely? Who are you going for?
Oh, do you know what? Quiet Girl.
A Quiet
Let's
Girl.
do it.
Let's do it. Come on.
Yeah, I really want The Quiet Girl.
Quiet Girl.
Well, I think it's going to be All Quiet, but a very quick shout out to EO. It's an amazing film about a donkey in Poland. That's all I'm going to say.
A lot of donkeys in the Academy Awards this year as well. Donkeys as well.
That's true.
The breakout feature of Oscars 2023. Argentina 1985 is excellent too as well. They're all very good international films. But
it's a very strong category as well.
Yeah. So we're going for The Quiet Girl. Okay, fantastic. Okay. So, if I can find my list here. So, best score, music, original. Is that right? Yeah. Okay, so the nominations for music, original score for 2023 are All Quiet on the Western Front, Babylon, The Banshees of Inisherin, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and The Fabelmans. Okay, do you want to start?
I actually really liked the soundtrack for The Fabelmans. I thought it was very good, but I also liked the type of eeriness for All Quiet. I thought that noise that kept coming up was really good. I really liked that, but I think that The Fabelmans had a really good soundtrack.
Yeah, and the only thing about that, John Williams, he's about 15 Oscars propping up a shelf somewhere, hasn't he?
Yeah.
You know, so there is that, and you know, but it is John Williams, like, you know, he's guaranteed to get nominated. Aoife?
I don't know. I really don't know with this one. I agree with you with the, you know, because it did make the movie a lot more, what's the word? You were waiting for it, you know? So I think I'll go with All Quiet as well. Okay,
that's interesting. I actually genuinely would have thought Everything Everywhere All at Once was going to get this, but what do you think? All Quiet, or how?
I actually agree. All Quiet. When I was watching it, those kind of noises, it was very much like a UFO was landing. It really created that sense of this alien atmosphere. This isn't what Earth should be.
Had so much like anxiety.
Exactly.
If you've ever, if you remember Kubrick's The Shining, the way he used the orchestral score to make you feel unnerved at times, it's not an enjoyable score. It's kind of to get under your skin. It's really good.
I would say for me as well, All Quiet. Interestingly enough, Babylon is the favourite in this.
I was going to say that's my pick is Babylon because of the simple fact I didn't enjoy it. I thought it was self-indulgent and I didn't and I didn't think it captured that 1920s feel that it was trying to capture. But again, it's Hollywood enjoying being Hollywood. And never count how much they love Hollywood being Hollywood. You know? But I think All Quiet is going to do that. What do you say?
I think with All Quiet, it was such a unique soundtrack. I think the score of the orchestra playing real eerie music, I think that's dust. I think the Oscars are going to be looking for original scores. With this one, it was like with All Quiet, the snare being hit, like the doom, like, and that brought up so much anxiety, like so much more than like the biggest orchestra in the whole world might have been.
Okay. So we're down to 1 minute on this. So the only thing I want to say, which I should have said at the beginning, is All Quiet on the Western Front. This is the third remake of it, and it has always won awards in its previous two remakes. Will they want to give it so much, knowing that it's already been recognised as both a book and a film? Like, it's the biggest selling German book of all time, and it's been remade 3 times, and it's won Oscars in the past, and it's won international awards for its other 2. But then again, it has to be based on its own merit. So yeah, what are you going for?
I want to go. I'm between All Quiet and Everything Everywhere. I think we can all agree that All Quiet is going home with an Oscar or 2 in the back box.
Okay, we got to wrap it up. So, who are you going for?
All Quiet.
All Quiet.
All Quiet.
All Quiet.
Okay. I'll just do one strange one. I will go for Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah, that was my second.
What did the bookies say?
Everything Everywhere is all the way at the bottom for score.
Really? Yeah. Okay.
Babylon
it's
at the
interesting.
top. All Quiet is second.
Yeah. What, Avatar top?
No, Babylon.
Oh,
is at the
Babylon.
top.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You mentioned
All Quiet, then the Fablemans,
Stuck in there at the end.
Everything Everywhere down the bottom.
Yeah. Don't tell us the bookies in Vegas until afterwards, and we'll see how we're doing with them. Yeah.
That's grand.
Für uns alle.
Fancy academy name. It's not, it's just sound. So I'm a Galway man, so that's sound. And the nominees are All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar, The Way of Water, Batman, Elvis, and Top Gun Maverick. Okay, who wants to begin on this one? Do you want to go, Reese? Yeah.
With sound, All Quiet on the Western Front, obviously war film, very loud, very good sound. All Quiet on the Western Front, absolutely dominating the Oscars at the minute. Top Gun Maverick, though, extremely loud, like very good to see in the cinema. Like, I think it would be up between them two. For me, I'm gonna have to go with Top Gun.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I'd agree with Top Gun as number one. I think it was one of the most, engaging sound experiences to watch it in the cinema compared to all the rest of them. But I wanted to give a shout out to the Batman. And I think it's kind of been forgotten about a little bit because
it was released. It was released.
It's almost a year ago now.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, February, March wasn't it last
exactly.
year? Yeah,
so
and we've forgotten how good that was when it came out, and it just blew us away.
And I think sound was so important for that film. So I don't think it's going to do anything, but I think it deserves to be in the mix.
Okay, Aoife, just as a cross thing, Elvis. Or what did you think first, and then Elvis? Do you think they might go for that because of the fact that it's so iconic and it's autobiographical, so therefore, sound is an important part of it?
See, I thought Elvis was really good and the sound was amazing, but it's not up for a fight with Top Gun or the Batman.
Okay.
Like, they are too far ahead.
Yeah, who are you going for then on that one?
Top Gun.
Yeah,
because I only watched it at home.
Yeah, I know.
Never
even
mind the cinema, and I thought it was amazing.
Yeah, I watched it on Paramount. Yeah, and I have the home surround system, and I remember thinking, because they all told you whatever you do, watch it on the big screen. And I didn't see it on the big screen, and I think that's the reason why they were saying to see it on the big screen. You needed to hear the sound of it. Yeah. Is that what you were going for, Top Gun? Yeah.
Yeah, and then the Batman is very close second. Like.
Oh, very good. Yeah, and finally,
my number one is the Batman.
Yeah.
Like, I think.
Okay. Okay. And then is your number two? What would you say? Follow up. Shout out.
Top Gun.
Top Gun.
But Batman.
All right. Okay. So that's Batman and Batman. Or is it? No, the Batman.
The Batman, sorry.
Yes.
Right. So we have predictions very quickly.
Top Gun.
I think
Top Gun.
Yeah.
Top Gun.
The Batman.
And I think, as myself, just as a reminder, I saw the Batman in the cinema, and I remember how fantastic the sound was, and I think as a shout out, just because it's a year ago, we shouldn't forget about it. Yeah. So I'm going to go for Batman. But I think Top Gun Maverick,
But All Quiet as well, very close.
Yeah, we're kind of not
Very close.
talking about that as well.
Quiet. I think it's going to be a toss-up between Top Gun
And we
All
haven't
Quiet.
talked about Avatar.
Yeah, that's funny. We just, I don't know, we've just decided that we don't want to.
In terms of the bookies, it's Top Gun is number one, then All Quiet, then Elvis, then Avatar, and Batman's all the way down the bottom, which I think is an injustice because I think it really is.
And I think that's just a victim of its time.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so, okay, that's interesting. We'll watch for that. Episode 1. So this is costume design, and the nominees are Babylon, Black Panther Wakanda Forever, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris. Okay. Lydia?
I think Everything Everywhere All at Once had amazing costumes in it. Like also hair and makeup as well, but like the costumes for like the different versions of like the realities, I just thought it was really amazing. Like it was so random and it was just amazing. That would be my number one, and then after that would be like Black Panther. I think.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
Reese?
I think Everything Everywhere, it had such a unique take on costume design. Like Michelle Shu, her costume, or no, that's not her name, wasn't it?
Stephanie Shu.
Stephanie Shu, sorry. Like her costume changed like every minute or something, like in the different realities. It had such a interesting take on it, and they were impeccable. I think Everything Everywhere, just I think that has a by a landslide, I'd say.
Yeah, very good.
I think it's really interesting because it depends on what you think should be awarded best for costume, because like for the likes of Elvis, you know, you have historical reference. Same with Babylon. Same for Mrs. Harris because it's a period piece. Black Panther is an interesting one because you have comic book reference, but actually trying to adapt that for the big screen is a difficult one. So, and then Everything Everywhere, I enjoyed it, but I think Black Panther was the best.
Yeah.
And
I think Black Panther as well, because there were so many different cultures within the movie, and they had to like do it very cleverly, like with each culture, and you know, attention to detail was amazing.
so no one's mentioning Miss Harris Goes to Paris.
That was my second one because it was like it's a runway for like Dior, you know. So like obviously they had to do a lot of work for that. So that would be my second one for sure.
And we think that's just falling out simply because it is fashion.
I think part of it is I mean, the creativity of some of the other ones in the fashion, in the costuming, was what would put it ahead, behind for me. In terms of the bookies, Black Panther is number one, Elvis number two, Everything Everywhere 3, Babylon 4, and Mrs. Harris is down the bottom.
All right, so who are we going for then?
Everything Everywhere.
Everything Everywhere.
Black Panther.
Black Panther.
Ooh.
Even split. Okay, so throw it up in the air down to myself. Either Black Panther or Everything Everywhere All at Once. I would go for... See, I think Black Panther is more visual, and that's what costume design is about, but I enjoyed Everything Everywhere All at Once because I thought it was unique. So what do I go for? More visual or unique?
Well, Everything Everywhere, it was like basically costume and makeup and hair, like all at once.
All at once.
Black Panther is the favourite in terms of the bookie, so in terms of your prediction, see if that plays into it.
Okay. So it's an even split. I can't do it myself as well because I valued both of them in a different light. So we'll just have to see. Black Panther 50-50 between Everything Everywhere All at Once. Okay.
You can't sit on the fence, Trevor. You can't sit on the fence, Trevor.
Right, Everything Everywhere All at Once because I just got such a kick out of it when I saw it on the big screen, and I just thought it was quite unique in how it visually presented itself too as well, on a lesser budget than Black Panther.
Yeah, you know? Definitely.
Because always on a big budget you can do amazing things.
Do more.
The title is Makeup and Hair Styling, and the nominees are All Quiet on the Western Front, The Batman, Black Panther Wakanda Forever, Elvis, and The Whale. So, Everything Everywhere All at Once didn't get nominated for makeup and hairstyling.
Very surprising.
It is, because how can it be costume and all the rest of it and not for hair and makeup? What is in there is The Whale, and I think what you have to consider there is his prosthetic considered makeup. Is that not makeup effects? But that's what it comes under. It does come under, right? So makeup effects comes under. So very quickly, Yeah, your predictions. Your favourite and your shout out.
Favourite, All Quiet, shout out The Whale.
Okay, very good.
I would say favourite The Whale,
Yeah.
Shout out Batman. I think
Okay.
the Penguin Colin Farrell's
was
amazing.
Yeah.
Shout out that.
You know, again, because we keep forgetting. So
Exactly, because it's in
Colin
a year.
Farrell talked about he couldn't even get the voice right or anything, and then the very first morning, it was 7 hours getting the whole thing done. He went into the studio to just do a rehearsal, and he got it straight away because he said once you're in the costume, it totally changed how he perceived how to talk. You know, and he never recognised that before. But it was 7 hours every morning. You
Jeez.
know, he did look amazing in it. Yeah. What do you think?
Favourite, probably The Whale. Shout out to All Quiet on the Western Front because, like, do you know, when they're like down in the dirt and like
Yeah.
it's actually showed the true horrors of war and like, you know, it's not just some like scrape on the side of your face and like they still look Hollywood
His
impeccable.
face
Like,
Oh, yeah.
caked in that.
Yeah,
different
like-
stuff.
Okay, so
That's
winding
amazing.
up. Finally.
The Whale.
The Whale.
The prosthetics was amazing.
Yeah.
Like there was so much detail with the hairs
Mhm.
on his body, and honorable mention is the Batman.
Okay, very good. Yeah. So is that The Whale that we're saying there? Is it?
I think
Yeah.
it's The Whale, yeah.
Yeah.
what are the bookies saying?
The book you saying The Whale as well.
Okay,
Mm.
right, yeah,
Ah.
yeah. Where was the Batman in that one?
The Batman was number 3, Elvis number 2.
Yeah.
Ooh.
All Quiet.
Elvis won the BAFTA.
Yeah.
Where's All Quiet on?
All Quiet's all the way down number 4.
Yeah,
I don't
because
agree
war
with
can
it
kind of,
necessarily.
they just think it's too much blood and they
I
don't
thought it
like
was-
to reward blood for some
I
reason.
thought it was
like
very
that.
creative though, especially
Mm.
those
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
trench kind of
Trenches,
shells,
yeah,
like all of that
yeah.
stuff
Mm.
caked on his face. So that was great.
Yeah, I thought, because you got to remember, like, because when you're watching a film like that, they're not obviously using real mud and stuff, because that would be like half the cast to be dead,
Yeah.
wasn't it? Yeah, yeah.
Need to know that I have done one thing right with my life.
Episode 1, and that is, if I can find it here we go, cinematography, and the nominations are All Quiet on the Western Front, Bardo, False Chronicles of a Handful of Truths, Elvis, Empire of Light, and Tar. Okay, do you want to go first? You go.
Cinematography, All Quiet. It's just kind of unbeatable, you know. Like compared to the other ones in the category, it just doesn't stand a chance, really.
Yeah, okay.
Like personally,
I think I
Oh,
agree.
who would be your second then? Shout out.
Elvis.
Elvis, yeah. No, Baz Luhrmann doesn't, you know, when he's associated, they know to make things very, very striking visual. I just wonder, with its inaccuracies, would they think it was overindulgent, you know?
Well, yeah, I think All Quiet is really strong in this category.
Yeah.
And who would your shout out be then?
I don't think Bardo has anything. I think the cinematography is very strange at some parts during Bardo. And I think Tar has some really good cinematography and some that are kind of meandering and kind of don't really help further it. Roger Deakins is in there for Empire of Light, but I don't think they're going to give it to him again.
After ignoring him for 20 odd
Exactly,
years.
And then there's Elvis or All Quiet, and I just think All Quiet is just more popular in terms of cinematography, so I think it has to be.
Yeah.
So World War One looks like it's going to be from 1917 onwards.
Yeah.
There's one for cinematography as well. Yeah. What do you think, Reese?
I would like to see Roger Deakins win it, but I think Tar, like, the cinematography really captured the like how close, like I don't know, like, it was just so in your face, like everything you see, the demise of her. All Quiet on the Western Front, that was such a beautiful movie. I just don't want to keep coming back to All
You
Quiet.
know, it is not an insult to what we're talking, the subject matter, when you do say it is such a beautiful film. It is really visually beautiful, even though it is horrible things sometimes we're seeing.
Yeah.
But some of those shots, like when dawn or dusk, or the shots at night with the flames,
Yeah.
and it's just visually fantastic, you know.
So different from like 1917 with Roger Deakins, like comparing that to All Quiet. Like All Quiet on the Western Front is a really ugly movie. It's like, like really beautifully ugly.
Yeah, I
It's
understand
truthful,
exactly
you know.
what you're saying, yeah. So is that who you're going for?
I'm gonna go with Tar.
Oh, you're going to go with Tar, yeah?
Tar.
Okay, yeah. No, I have Tar as my second, yeah. So I'll be interested to see what the book is, but I think Elvis is probably second. And what do you think?
I think the All Quiet would win cinematography, But I really liked the cinematography in Tar.
So did I.
Yeah.
I
really liked
I
it.
think people just see it as because it's a modern day story.
Yeah.
They may kind of not see the quality of it, but some of the shots where she's in and they're
Yeah.
she's in the studio with them or whatever.
They're very nice, yeah.
They're stunning.
That scene where
stunning.
like she's orchestrating it,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
really, yeah, that
Oh.
was, yeah.
Fantastic. Or even when
that
she
was really
runs
good.
out, when
Yeah.
she runs out, like,
Yeah.
it's fantastic.
Very good.
I just wonder, will they get thrown out by will they get thrown out by the All Quiet on the Western Front grandeur? Is that,
Yeah.
is that the word I'm looking
Yeah,
for?
yeah.
I know what you mean.
Scale.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
but visually, Tar is amazing.
Yeah.
I think
You
the
know?
one thing that might knock All Quiet is the fact that 1917 did just win a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
are they
yeah.
going to give it
Yeah,
to another world?
That's what I was going to say. Yeah,
like
yeah.
that is one that is
Yeah.
a fair kind of criticism. But yeah, All Quiet.
Okay, so what are we looking at then? So
All quiet.
All Quiet,
Same for me, All Quiet.
Tar.
If it comes down to another tie, I'm going to go All Quiet just to be safe.
Mhm.
I would love to see Tar win,
Yeah.
though, but All Quiet maybe is your safe bet.
I'm gonna say Tar.
I'm going to say Tar as well, but All Quiet.
Okay, I take it back.
What did the bookies have to say then? See how we're
Yeah,
going?
All Quiet number 1, Elvis 2,
Yeah,
Empire
Elvis.
of Light 3,
No
Tara's
way.
down at 4,
Yeah.
Bardo at
Come on.
5. I think
Yeah.
there's too many shots of her driving in a car for it to be up for best cinematography.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I mean, Empire of Light was beautiful as well, but it just didn't seem to just change an awful lot for me. You
Yeah.
know? Whereas I just really liked how Tar was composed, but I think, yeah, it's one that they think giving it. Well, it depends. Do they want World War One again? I don't know.
Well, hopefully not.
So the nominees are Martin McDonough for the Banshees of Inisherin, Daniel Kwan and Daniel Schneierert for Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fablemans Steven Spielberg, Tar Todd Field, and Triangle of Sadness Ruben Östlund. So, right, we have a longer, okay, because this is one of the big five.
Yeah.
We have our own head and heart situation going on here.
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's quite a tough one. I don't know about
Yeah.
you. I think there's nothing that's jumping out there. I'll be interested to see how the book is running at the end. So we'll start with Reese on this one then. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh my goodness, it's just probably one of the hardest ones in here. So many great directors. I'd love to see Martin McDonough win it. Not only because I'm Irish, it's literally just one of the best movies released this year. You can probably tell I'm a big Tar fan. Triangle of Sadness. Oh, I don't know.
Triangle of Sadness. No, I loved all his previous,
Yeah, yeah. The Square.
What's the one in the Alps?
It's the one about the avalanche.
Yeah.
Oh,
And he runs off and leaves the family.
yeah, that's
Oh my god.
It's the what's the name of that for nature? Menagerie. No, it's not
It's
that.
gonna annoy me.
No, any of our producers know. No.
I'm actually gonna look it up.
Force majeure, wasn't it? Yeah,
Force majeure.
Yeah,
Thank you.
excellent. Thank you to our producer there. So Martin McDonough though winning it with 3 billboards. Will they give it to
Yeah.
him for his next feature?
Oh, I don't know, because it is up against such fantastic movies, and as much as I hate to admit it, Banshees of Inisherin has lost some of its hype, I think, and Everything Everywhere All at Once is only gaining momentum.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be between Banshees and Everything Everywhere.
You don't think Spielberg has a chance at it?
No, I really don't think so. I think Fablemans has definitely lost its hype for me anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just such a hard category. I actually can't pinpoint any. They all deserve to
Well,
win.
you have to give us at least you believe to be your prediction and your shout out.
My prediction will be the Banshees of Inisherin, and my shout out, let's give it to Ruben, Triangle of Sadness.
Yeah, okay. Now, when we've talked to everyone here, we'll have another discussion because we've longer time with this, right? Lydia.
I think I have a feeling that Banshees might win.
What's making you feel that, as opposed to? I mean, who do you think it's really up against then?
I think it's up against, to be honest, Everything Everywhere. I think, and Tar. I think those three are like the top for me. But I don't know. I just have a feeling that Banshees might win it. I don't know. Triangle of Sadness would win Best Directing. But yeah, I'd say Banshees.
I think with Banshees of Inisherin, like, the rest of the movies are great, but it's like with really great writing.
Yeah.
With directing, Banshees of Inisherin, I think, takes the cake for anyone that like is directing that movie. Martin McDonagh done a spectacular job, not only on the
Is that, you know, because they keep crediting it the fact that he directed theatre first and then he went into film as to why he works so well with actors.
And I think the Academy would love that. Like,
yeah, so I think there's an element of that.
Yeah. See, I'd be on the complete other side of that spectrum.
Right, let's jump over to this side.
I think I don't think Banshees of Inisherin is as good as Three Billboards. And Three Billboards won the Academy Award. So therefore, I don't think this one is going to win it. I think part of the problem with the film is the fact that he has a background in writing for theatre, because for large swathes of the film you feel like you're watching a play, not a film. And as the director, it does need to feel like you're watching a film.
True.
So I think he might be strong in a category later on.
Yeah, I know, and I think I know what category you're going to say that. But at the same time, if you're getting a lot of actors being nominated for acting, that also comes down to the directing. They do look at that, you know. And Banshees is heavily in all of the acting categories.
Yeah, no,
and that comes down. So
it's definitely a good point.
Yeah.
In terms of getting performances out of the actors, I think, definitely it's one of Martin McDonagh's big strengths. Yeah. But in terms of actually getting the whole film together,
I think then, because you haven't said what you are going
for. I think what I would love to win is Ruben Östlund for Triangle of Sadness. I think his imprints are all over that film. You know, like it's really his vision.
And on these previous movies are the same.
Exactly. I think it's just so clever, and I think I'm going to probably bring it up a bit later, but the fact that the whole first third of the film isn't actually necessary, the entire plot, but it still works. It's still enjoyable.
I agree with you.
Quite necessary for the plot. And like, not to get far away from the directing, like, I think that was perfect. Like, the setup of the characters, like,
I mean, even the gap thing, you know, smile, you're like, for gap. No, you're back to,
I really enjoy
a lot of it is completely unnecessary, but it completely works because you're always engaged in the film.
You really show the human condition.
I think that really shows, like.
Well, he's always social satire. That's his whole thing in everything he does. And so he has to bring that out. Now, what's interesting is and sorry, then, so you're saying Triangle of Sadness, but then you're saying what?
But I don't think it's going to win. I think the two Daniels are going to win it for Everything Everywhere. I think there's a lot of backing behind those two in particular. And does that film work without a very unique vision? Probably not. So for me, it's the two Daniels, but in my heart says Ruben.
And then finally, Aoife.
Yeah, see, I would have picked Steven Spielberg just because out of all the movies there, Fabelmans would have been my favourite, but I can't base it off that. I have to base it off.
No, you're right to actually base it on that as well. And also remember, because we haven't said this, Spielberg was absolutely adored. He rescued Hollywood in the 80s. It was dying in the late 70s. And he has not been recognised in anything for a long time since Schindler's List. So this idea that and it's probably not going to do anything again because he's like nearly 70 now. So this idea that they might just go, look, we got to give it to one of our own. You know? And and then if you love those other films like we do, it still is a good film. But why do you feel it's better than, say, Martin McDonagh, or that Everything Everywhere All at Once is going to fall behind it?
Out of all of them, for me, like personally, I just connected with it a lot more, and I felt all the emotions through each one of the actors, you know, like it was making me laugh and then cry and like, you know, like he knows exactly what he wants and he makes the actors do exactly that, and they're always spot on in his movies. So no, I think I'm going to go with Steven.
And just to back up that, you forget as well, because he's doing it as semi-biographical, and he's getting praised in Hollywood for bringing in his own private life. So it's almost like he's saying, I'm signing off now, so don't underestimate that. They might get a little bit misty-eyed about that as well. Not denying it's a good, every film on that is excellent.
Yeah.
I'd love Triangle of Sadness and Tar, you know, and I'd even give up the Banshees of Inisherin because I know where I want him to get another reward. Right? But I would love Triangle of Sadness. That would just my own. But so who are you predicting? Because I still think it's far more open. It's a lot more tighter than some of the other ones we've been in. So who are you going for now?
I think Everything Everywhere is stronger in a different category.
Yeah. But not in directing.
It is in directing, but I think it might win.
Yeah, we're going to come to that. Yeah, okay. Right, so who are you going for on this then? Yeah,
I'd want Banshees to win.
Banshees, yeah. Martin McDonough.
Well, McDara said there, it was kind of swaying me. I think I might go with Triangle of Sadness.
Yeah, it's not got a hope, and it's fantastic. And if there is an Oscar god or goddess or deities or whatever, we can sacrifice things to, Triangle of Sadness, we get it. But I was delighted they nominated, because they don't normally would go that extreme, you know. So we've got everything. No, sorry, we've got Banshees.
Triangle of Sadness.
Triangle of Sadness.
I'm going to refer back to my Vegas bookies.
Yeah.
And it's
wait till we get Aoife's one there before you tell us. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll just pass on to Aoife.
Yeah. So you're sticking with the Fablemans.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Steve.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'll refer back to my Vegas bookies, and it's the two Daniels are ahead, but it's very much a 4-horse race between Spielberg, Todd Field, and Martin McDonough, and it's in that order.
Yeah.
I think Spielberg does have a really good chance
in
this
as well. Yeah, I mean, I would have it as my third out of all that list.
Yeah,
but I just think how Hollywood works. If we're here to tell our listeners, what they should what we believe will win, not what our heart will win. Yeah, what we believe will win, not our heart. Spielberg's up there neck and neck. I'd say Spielberg neck and neck with the two Daniels.
Yeah, that's how I kind of see it.
And I see Martin with Todd Field neck and neck.
Yeah.
And then poor old Ruben is.
Yeah. One thing I will say about Ruben Östlund's film, I mean, Triangle of Sadness, it's in everyone's top 10 films of 2022 that I've seen, and it's always between 7 and 3.
Yeah.
And it won the Palme d'Or as well, but I'm going with the two Daniels.
Yeah. Jesus, so we don't have any consensus, basically.
It's up to you, Trevor.
Because we have all of them except for Tar, so I'll just say Tar and then just throw it in. So this means that everyone's got in there. Because
Tar actually, well, this is a long shot. I'd say they did predict that, because remember in Tar, she pays for your man's taxi all the time, and he says it comes out of. Do you think that was like a shot at Steven Spielberg? Let's just give him the Oscar because we feel like he deserves it. Does Steven Spielberg deserve an Oscar before, like, so should, but it's the Oscars. You can't just.
I think what's going to sway some people, if we're going to be really honest about this, because this is really interesting, because not one of us has got a consensus on it, and even the bookies don't have a consensus on it. I think Martin McDonough is going to fall into another category, and he's won before, so I think people know that. So that's that gone there. I think Everything Everywhere is going to fall into another category, and I think some of you may not going to disagree or agree or disagree with that when we come to that category, right? And I think Tar is going to get recognised, and I think the Fablemans is going to take it because of their almost. Their honorary of Spielberg, but Triangle of Sadness, I would put Triangle of Sadness and Banshees as the two best out of all of that group, and then Everything Everywhere and the Fablemans. Oh no, Tar as well. I don't know.
If I was to change to create a decision, it would be for Steven Spielberg and the Fablemans.
Yeah.
If I was to change,
like if you were to put your money on,
if it isn't Everything Everywhere for me, it's the Fablemans.
I think Everything Everywhere is going to go somewhere else, and I think people are aware, because remember they know what they're nominating. It's not like they just nominate one and then forget about it. They have it all in front of them, and they're kind of going, well, look, we'll go with that one, then we won't give it that one. But I always think it's a constant. How can something win Best Director, not win Best Picture?
Yeah.
See what I mean? So it's like it's almost like, how can that work? And of course they do. They see it totally different every year. So. But we have no consensus, so we have to wrap up on some form of a consensus. Or what do we say?
I'll change mine to the Fablemans.
And yours put two
with Aoife. Yeah, let's just Fablemans.
Three.
Yeah.
And-
Stick with
Bench,
bench.
bench.
Yeah.
And yeah,
As a prediction, I think.
I personally
as a
don't
prediction,
want it to win.
I
I just think it will.
yeah.
I think we can all agree, like, what a great year for film.
yeah.
Seriously,
Oh, yeah.
Especially since post-pandemic,
yeah.
it really is
Yeah.
Great for
Yeah.
Ireland
first big
too.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, great for
Yeah.
Irish
You know,
film.
we
Yeah,
have to keep
fantastic.
talking about that because we
Yeah.
keep forgetting that, you know, it's the first time that we have, across all different categories, not just acting and directing, you know, visual effects and other areas, 14 nominations
Mhm,
for Irish
14.
people. And if you
Yeah.
class the short,
The
Yeah.
Northern Ireland.
the one in Northern Ireland,
Yeah, the Irish boy.
we're up to
yeah.
15 for a tiny little nation.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
More than England has ever gone
Yeah,
in their lifetime.
yeah, that's amazing.
Definitely talk about more of the nominees in the next episode.
Yeah. Well. So we're actually saying that Spielberg is going to get it through, and we're wrapping up on that and on Best Director. That
Yeah.
Spielberg's going to get it through
As
because
much
of-
as it pains me.
And it does
yeah.
pain me
Let's
as
just
well.
give it
Yeah.
to
I
him.
want
He
Ruben.
deserves
I want Martin McDonagh.
He's
Sure,
the
the
most
dog.
known
What I want.
Yeah.
in
That's
Hollywood.
true.
Like out of
Yeah.
all of them, he's the
Yeah.
most known.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and he's
Yeah.
in the game the longest.
And it's him personally, and he saved Hollywood financially. He was the guy that, like, jumped on the success of blockbusters in the 80s, in the early 80s, that really catapulted Hollywood
Yeah.
into this mega machine that it is, you know, whether you like that happening or not.
I
is
think
not.
Everything Everywhere is very young
Yeah.
target,
Yeah.
and Oscars is an old man's game, really. You know.
Exactly. Yeah, I think this is where the old man's game is going to, where tradition is going to
Yeah,
hold up.
and it's like the second most important category, I'd say.
Okay.
And, you
All
know,
right. Well, okay, we're going to leave it there. So that concludes our episode 1 for our Oscar nominations 2022-23. Hope you're enjoying it. Stay with us, and we will then begin episode 2, where we'll do our 8 concluding categories.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.